Hey guys, welcome to Man-O-Rama. Tonight we talk about the bond of men's friendships and how important that is with guys. Because a lot of guys don't understand that. They all think it's all gay and all that shit. Well, guess what? There's an actual healthy way of doing it, and it actually benefits men a lot more than what we think. And we're going to talk about that tonight. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? All by myself.
Quit strangling that cat.
Welcome everyone to the
ears are
88th
bleeding.
episode of Man-O-Rama. Oh man, I thought that was funny. That was perfect timing. Let's go around the table and see how everyone's week's doing. Vincent, how's your week been?
Absolutely capital, my man.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Ordy.
No reason in particular. It's just been awesome.
Oh, nice. And Ordy.
Same.
For a second there, Vincent was like, I thought Vincent was gonna be like, he stepped out.
No.
That's good.
No,
That's
same.
good.
It's been a pretty awesome week. It's cooling down. I'm back to just making ball soup, and
Oh, nice.
it's just it's been a good week all around. So
You should do a cologne that calls ball soup, the fragrance for men.
Vincent, what's that in French?
I'm sorry, what now?
What's ball soup in French?
Ball soup?
Yeah,
French.
Soup
Le
au
ball
boulet.
soup. Soup au lait. Yes, that'll be the name of my cologne.
Soup au
There you
boulet.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a whole
Hey.
line like Dr. Watch does.
You should do it.
Or as we in Canada
And Mike
call it,
I'm gonna
Lorber.
do it.
Quebec.
Yep.
It smells like Quebec.
And Mike Lorber, how's your week been?
How's my week been? Mixed. That's yeah. So it doesn't help when you're applying for jobs and half of them have to be scammers and don't reply to anything when you're trying to have somewhat of an interview. I want to throttle these people and send a nuke in the mail. So other than that, keeping my faith up and trying to hope for the best.
You can do
That's
that
good.
in Canada.
That's good.
Yeah, apparently you can. Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. We can finally hear you, Canadian Spider-Man. Oh, he just
I
mute
know.
himself and he's
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
oh you
Yeah, we can.
you bastard.
can.
Canadian Spider-Man. The one and only Uno Numero with probably the worst technical issues of Man-O-Rama. How's your week been? There.
And now we can't hear him.
And
Did your mic just go?
and
No,
like
no.
that, he was gone.
You can hear me, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we can't. You're talking really quiet right now, so I can't. I'm reading your lips and I can't hear nothing, and then I hear your voice, and I'm like, man, there's a delay. But how's your
You're
week been,
muted.
man?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, are you?
No.
No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Okay,
Oh,
guys.
son of a! That was the other
No.
guy. You're fucking with me.
Hold up. With Canadian Spider-Man,
Yes.
we do not joke around with him being muted because he has a bunch of technical difficulties.
I'm so gullible. I'm the most gullible of
Yes.
you all.
Only I will be able to say that to you, Canadian Spider-Man, because I'll let you know. But how's your week?
I'm on. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Absolutely. We've got some rain, which is always good. And just hanging out in my RV, which is fantastic. And I don't know. I found these berries that I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm curious. So I think they're They've got seeds in them. I didn't expect that. Yeah, no, it's been a good week.
no.
Yum.
Let's hope they're not,
They're chalky. Usually,
In
Well,
20
they are
minutes, he's gonna
poisonous
start
hard.
tripping balls. These edibles ain't shit.
I don't know.
either that or
that's
have
good.
on dials.
It's been a good week.
Ever the Yukon pioneers, sir.
Oh, Tony's here. Hi,
Yeah.
Tony. I'm so glad.
Why,
you're here.
hello.
And hello.
So-
I like your new
Canadian
name.
Spider-Man is like our very own Les Stroud.
I've had
Okay,
a lot of.
so
So I've had this much red wine.
Ah,
jeez, crazy.
What about 3
now
ounces?
you've had red berries, so it goes hand in hand.
I don't know what berries they are, but the birds were eating them, so I think they're okay. But they've got seeds in them.
So, anyways, Tony Stark, welcome to the show. It's been a while. How's your week been?
My week has been up and downs as well. Been
Sex, then.
adopting to my new form of at least temporary self-employment with my channel, and been working overtime. I've been making commercials for a friend. We're doing a music video, and we're just staying busy. Been keeping my landline open with the Lord just about every night, especially for our good friend Comic Relief Crusader here, who's in a similar boat as me.
Thanks, dude.
And just living the dream and dreaming to live, brother. I'm happy to be here. It's been about 5 months and some change, so happy to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you here, man. And Tom.
Hey, keeping busy. Had mental health issues on the weekend, but you know what? They're better. My proofreader backed out, so I just proofread my own book. You're not supposed to, but I got tired of waiting after 3 weeks, so I'm almost done. Just waiting on the last
And
page.
you found no mistakes.
Actually, Grammarly helps. I'll tell you that right now. Grammarly is a super thing to have. So it's like, damn it. It's like, okay.
The book is perfect. Though
And then,
you don't have to double
Well, I'll
check.
get it
Send
published
it.
soon. And then I'm going to put it on Amazon. And then I'm working on a short and then some other film stuff. So I'm just keeping busy. Busy.
Cool. My week has been pretty good. I was in
How was your
Colorado
week,
for the
Steve?
weekend. I'm
How was
just
your
not going to
week?
get to it. Thank you for asking.
There we go.
Don't
my-
encourage
my-
him.
Steve, if your week wasn't any good, check your DMs because your week's about to get a hell of a lot better.
Oh boy.
Just slid right into his
Oh,
DMs.
fuck.
What's her name?
No.
Start with a K.
Anyways, so my week has been pretty good. I was in Colorado for the weekend, celebrating a birthday and showing my wife what Colorado is. There's perfect there. And then you get back to California, you're like, oh my gosh. I've learned I did do tubing for the first time. Like
Ooh, nice.
on a boat on a lake. Yeah, it's what you call
we're going
it-
tubing.
I know it was pretty exhausting when you're tubing, like you're doing a lot of forearm muscle and you're like, this is exhausting. I learned real quick, stay on your knees, like hunched down on all fours, because if you're laying flat down and if you go up in the air and drop down, water is not that soft.
No,
when you
no.
go down,
No.
yeah, water will teabag you real quick, and you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah. I also learned that you should keep your swim trunks tight because they will fall off. Yeah, they were wrapped
Unless
around my
you're a
ankles.
girl.
It's hilarious.
Unless you're a girl,
Yeah.
then by all means, keep them loose.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
worst gut punch
So-
I ever got was water skiing.
Yeah.
It
Non-friendly
sucks. I'm not gonna
rule.
lie. It's fun to do tubing with a boat on a lake, but when you let go, it's not fun. Like the first time I was on for like maybe 5 minutes. I was doing a long time, and then the second time I could hear the guy goes, "No mercy, sensei." Dude, I got knocked around. Like I was like, "No, there's no way, dude." I beefed
Sweep
it
the
so
leg.
bad. Like my face was in the water, my legs were up in the air, just sliding. I was like, "This sucks." But that was my week. It was pretty fun. Yeah, a lot. of
How's
crazy
Colorado?
stuff.
What's is it the first time you've been there? What's your overall
No,
impression?
so
Would you go
so
back?
when I lived in Nebraska, we would go. I would go to Colorado to ski a lot, and so I used to go there quite a bit. So I'm used to it. My wife, she's never been there, so I'm like, hey, she really liked it. It's the air is fresh. It's so nice. And then when you get back to California, you're like, this sucks. But we're gonna get into we're gonna get into
Colorado.
our,
Can I ask, if you don't mind me asking, is there
Yeah.
open use for certain things in Colorado? It can just openly do certain things. You know what I mean? That you
What do you
can't. I don't know. Take
are
a
you
few
talking about
puffs.
weed?
Yeah. You can do that
Okay.
openly in Colorado.
Tom, I'm gonna roast you right now.
You don't have to talk around it, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I'm
Okay,
not sure.
I
YouTube can
don't-
be weird.
It's
You can say
Tom.
weed. You can
We're
say
way
weed.
past the 5-minute mark. We're way past. Like,
Yeah.
usually at the 5-minute mark, we just started Don't Be That Guy. But
I
we've
think at
cleared
this
that
point, I
part.
think we can roll doobies, really.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're pretty.
because
Just making sure. Just making sure.
Because I have a
Colorado was the first state to legalize marijuana, so don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do in Canada, but
Oh, it's legal all across. One
All
end or the
over.
other.
I wonder
Yeah.
if these
Here in
berries are
America-
legal.
It's totally legal everywhere in Canada.
but we're gonna get
Oh
into
yeah, he's gonna be tripping balls.
Either that or have
we're gonna get
911 on.
into we're gonna get into this up next.
Twitter.
Twitter.
So
Hey, Herc.
here, so here on Man-O-Rama, we change it up. It's not all simping. It's more now what fits into the topic of the episode. Tonight is about brotherhood and bonding and that kind of key important thing. And they're going to be interesting. So let's dive into it, shall we? All right, guys. I thought it was a circle when I first saw this image. And what is the problem with this? With male bonding?
No touching.
Any-
But as long as
Anyone?
it's not gay, as long as your socks are on.
I
Yeah.
was about to say it's not gay if unless the balls touch, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that what?
I think if the tips touch, that's pretty gay.
Anyways,
Okay, guys can
Korean
hold
sword
hands if they're
fighter
gay
over here.
or bi, but not straight. So there. No.
yeah. All right, we'll go to the next one. I don't know. I just thought this was funny. But all right, so what's wrong with this picture, guys?
Everything
Okay,
is
that's
wrong
just-
with that fucking picture.
With
Yeah.
this, okay, so
Gay,
here's
straight,
a
don't
better-
matter. That just looks bad.
Hold up. Here's a better question. Would this be considered a good masculine bonding?
No.
No,
No.
no,
No,
absolutely not.
this is absolutely gay.
This
Okay.
guy's right in the bitch seat.
Anyways, all right, we'll go to the next one.
No, you hold your hands to your
All
side.
right, no,
If you
so
fall
we're
off,
gonna
you
get
fall
into
off.
this one. This is I don't know who sent this one to us.
No.
This
Oh.
guy said
Why?
this had nothing to do with male bonding. This is just don't be that guy directly. I dyed my whole body hair with her period.
Why?
Solidarity as a strong feminist. We're gonna go back to this one because I can't handle it that much. But guys, what's wrong with that one?
What, that one or the previous one? Previous one, just no. Just
Nobody
no.
wears
No.
your baseball cap backwards anymore. That's so
Yeah.
90s.
Unless
Hey, what the hell? Dude.
Unless you're slow dancing with a man, you don't
Oh,
put your hands there.
No. I'm not going back
That-
to
That shit's as
the other
ate
one,
up as a
because it's
dick sandwich in a gay bar.
Dude, I'm in the community. I'm bi, and that's beyond uber gay. So no.
No, I'm not talking about this one. I didn't want to go back. I was talking about the guy who dyed his hair.
Oh.
Oh, with
I
periods?
changed
No,
that because I don't
no,
want
no,
people
no,
to look
there's
at the
an-
picture too long.
There's an easy solution for that, and normally it would cost 1 round of ammunition, but there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
motherfucker that I couldn't fix with my hands. So
That's
let's
right.
go on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, Vincent.
Yeah, we don't
Have
need to
I
discuss
shown
that.
you my new pointy?
All right, guys.
What
Guys,
faggotry
Nice
is
letter
this?
opener.
let's stay on track. Is this considered masculine male bonding?
It's two gay men. They're just,
My only thought is, what faggotry is this?
it's just two gay guys. That's all. You know.
How do
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
gay.
Okay.
Maybe
which one
if they're two gay guys, they ain't bothering anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
No,
Okay, well,
exactly.
first the wine
No, that's
spritzer.
fine.
no man would be caught dead wearing a watch like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
that,
true
that,
story.
that's pretty bad. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
All right, I think we're gonna do one.
Cheap
more.
And drinking out of a glass like that.
There you go.
This remake of
dear
the Road Warrior is
God,
gonna
no.
fucking suck.
Thank you. On that note,
Oh,
so
That's the fag edition
I-
of Road Warrior.
I do have a quick story about
yes,
men bonding about that, and it involves physical touch. And I gotta say, on at the southern tip of the Great Barrier Reef, there's islands called the off Airlie Beach, which off of Queensland. There's the Whitsunday Islands, and you can go sailing around them. And I went on a 4 or 5 day sailboat ride. One of the best beaches, better than anywhere else in the world I found there. Anyway, on the boat was some English people, some Norwegian lesbians whom I bunked with. It was not what I hoped had happened, but whatever. And there was some English dudes and English couples and 7 Irish dudes. And they had been backpacking around Australia together for the entire year. Their visas expired. They did our visas expired conga line at midnight on the sailboat on the foredeck, which was awesome. The point is, these guys were so tight. They'd been traveling together for a year, backpacking, sleeping in hostels, doing whatever, eating noodles, whatever they could together. They fell asleep often, passed out, whatever, just take your pick of descriptor, it passed out, but they would pass out and sleep, and they'd be like in a pile, sort of like kittens do, or like dogs maybe, and there was nothing gay about it. It was absolutely not gay at all. They were just that comfortable with each other. So I do want to make that differentiation.
yes.
There is a
Yeah.
there's
Here-
that
I don't know,
border.
you kind of
yeah.
gave it
That was
away when you said it was
camaraderie.
off Queensland.
Well, okay,
it was,
so-
but they would have lied to immigration for each other. They would have gone to jail for each other. That's my point.
Oh yeah,
So-
I get you.
Here's the thing. Someone asked in the chat, what are you guys doing? All right. So here's the little thing. Usually it doesn't get this crazy with Don't Be That Guy. The reason why I found those pictures is because I was trying to find male bonding failures, like just some kind of funny and all that stuff. But all this stuff kept on showing up. And I was like, maybe this is kind of like, all right, there is a certain way of like a cultural. I'll say that different cultures do different things. Yeah, it's different cultures. They're very handsy in the way of like hugging and like putting their arms around their shoulder and stuff. Like it's a cultural thing. Like that's the perspective that we have to understand. Here in America, we don't dress up as 2 pink unicorns and sit on a moped and glitter and all that stuff. That's just weird. But so that's why it's like we like to like, I don't know, like if you're gay and you want to hold hands, cool. I just whatever, you can do that. But it's like in the sense of I know a lot of guys on this show, like it was a little difficult, I'll say that. So it's like trying to find the opposite of everything. But yeah, so that's in the sense of that. Because I guarantee if someone's new watching the show and they just tuned in and we're doing that, we're not totally bashing gays all the way. We're just like it's just trying to fit in the topic. It was very difficult.
That comes next year in June.
We're not
Yeah.
bashing them. We're bashing the stereotype.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there's
It'd
a
be weird
level.
if Tom was bashing them.
There's a level that some people who are gay take it towards, where they're parading around and trying to make it everybody else's business. Everybody has the right to their own business. That's one of the things we get as
Right.
Americans, is we have the right to do what we want. But it has to be within the boundaries of other people's rights. And a lot of these people are trying to step on the wrong toes.
Yeah. But I also
Like
did get the
Canada.
free pass. I did get the free pass from Gay Biker Dad to roast all gays. So I was like, all right.
Oh yeah,
So
we could totally make fun of him.
Well,
But-
if you got a pass, then
Dude, that walk.
Yeah.
No,
you're safe.
But I'm going to get into the first question of tonight, and we will get into that one. So the first question is, what is a bad example of friendship bond? Like 2 guys or like a group of guys in the bond of like a brotherly friendship. Ordy.
Primal screaming and crying together.
Yep.
Ooh.
Because I mean,
that's a
they're
good
charging
one.
like thousands of dollars to go and do that in the woods now, not just for women, but for men. It's like,
Yeah.
That's not the kind of that's not bonding. That's grifting. You haven't gained anything from that.
We can do
Seriously,
that.
they have it for men too.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Can I
I-
start we could do that?
I can set
Allegedly.
that up right here.
Yeah. I start a new business.
Yeah, I'll charge you $50 and punch you in the nuts. It'll have the same effect.
Yeah.
What a
Um,
deal!
Tony
What would
Stark,
you be
what
wearing?
is, what i- in your life? What was a bad example of friendship bond? I know I worded that question really wrong.
You did. Here's a good example of how you take
Yeah.
friendship
you didn't
to a
say it in
level
your
that's
life, so.
not acceptable. There is a
Sorry.
fine line between healthy competition and unhealthy competition to where it becomes
Ooh.
toxic. Okay.
Yeah.
Any brotherly love that you share with a friend, you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to get this first, or I'm going to get that first. That's fine, but there is a line that a lot of people don't know, and it can only be solved through proper communication and understanding of one another before it gets to that point. Healthy competition gets more repetitive, and if it's not treated the same as it was when it started, it can become toxic, and it can definitely be an impediment in your friendship or with your brother from another mother. So
Yeah.
always have sportsmanship at the fore whenever you're challenging each other, and never take it to a point to where it will tear your friendship apart. That would be the advice that I would give.
That's a pretty. I didn't think about it that way. That's a really good one. Thank you, man. Mike.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I really got to think about this one. Bad example of a friendship bond. I mean, you know, when you have that, I'm gonna put it this way: that alleged friendship, and when it always seems to be like definitely one-sided, that one-sidedness and that friendship is a really red flag. I'm thinking, you know, obviously. Because you know, generally that ends up becoming more along the lines of you know, hey, first it starts that kind of innocent. Hey, bud, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I really need your help with this. And then it's kind of takes slight skew in direction. It's like, you know, instead of, you know, can you, instead of asking, it always ends up to be you gotta, right?
Mm.
Because at first it generally turns into like a friendly request. Then it almost turns into like pretty much a demand. You know, you got to do this for me. You know, you really got to help me out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're my best bud. I need you to like cover for me and shit like that, right? All the time. And then after that, it's like, look, then it turns into like, you know, some sort of narcissistic kind of thing, like where the bad side of the relationship for some odd reason always seems to think or identify with saying stuff like, you know, I did all this kind of stuff for you. If it wasn't for me, then, you know, you wouldn't be here, or you wouldn't be where I'm at, or something like that, right? When in reality, they actually did nothing for you at all. And it just seems like people like that always seem to want to latch on to people that like to give of themselves, like to help out.
Parasites.
You know, yeah, essentially parasites, right? Where
You bury a dead
where
hooker
you
for
seem
someone
to-
once, you're expected to do it all the time.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly. Right. You know, and then, you know, as soon as you say no to the relationship or you end it, then all of a sudden they seem to have a problem with you all of a sudden. And it seems like you're the cause of all their ills in life and stuff like that. So yeah, stuff like that. Not that I'm identifying anybody.
The one thing that I absolutely hate about being on this program is that,
You bastard.
and besides that, but
what?
the one thing I hate is that I'm dealing with so many intelligent people on here that steal the answers from me, and I end up having nothing to say. So
I
all I can say
apologize
is
for nothing.
no, because people are on the ball, people are thinking, and you know, I pass. I'll wait for the next one.
All right. Tom.
speaking behind for your best friend's back or even a close friend. And then you find out, oh, they said this about me and that. Like I've had that, and and it's like, what the, like really, I had, especially these people that you've had their back or you've lent them money, you've done this and that, and then just you find out they speak behind your back quietly, and then you find out for other people, it's like, what if you got an issue with me, say it to my face, just said that's what true.
Yeah.
No, they do it behind your back without it, and that's so weak, and that's
too trusting is a good one.
Yes.
You're like so comfortable with your friendship that you let certain things slide.
Yeah. And I've done that, and I've been called. What did they say? What did they call me? I'm naive and too nice. I guess I've been called many a times, but I'm like, that's my nature. It's who I am. It's how I was raised. So, but people do. You lend them money, you don't hear from them again, or they say something behind your back. Just fake people. I can't tolerate that fakeness. And just fake.
Yeah. Did we do Canadian Spider-Man?
No.
No, but please use lube.
What?
You know what, guys? We'll give it to him.
Wasn't me, by the way.
Okay. Anyways.
More like what Tom was saying. And this is a really good question. I didn't expect this to be on here. So kudos to you, Steve, for posing this question. But like Tom, I think it's an East Coast thing, maybe, where you tend to be a little more trusting because of the low crime rates and because of the low incidence and the small populations and the low population density, and you just tend to be trusting. And you can literally break down in your car and walk to someone's house in the countryside and you won't get shot.
Right.
They'll probably give you gasoline and a sandwich. But we were trusting. So I want to continue on that point. Is gentlemen, yes, it's good to be the compassionate person that is trusting and give the people the benefit of the doubt, and I've done that often to my own detriment sometimes. But be careful if you're with someone that is always asking something of you, and it's always one way. Be careful of those relationships, and you can have them. I mean, I've got relationships where I often give more than I get, and you can have those. Just be aware of it, and and be wary of any relationships where the person is always, because I've seen this too, where I've hung out with the guy a lot, and they're always negative. They're never supporting you. They're often criticizing you, or everything you say. They sort of use it to promote themselves, and it's usually insecure guys that do this. So be careful of hanging out with insecure guys that don't support you. Only hang around positive people that are supportive. And don't be the martyr. We grew up with our fathers and grandfathers would sacrifice themselves, and we don't have to do that. Don't be the martyr. Don't hang out with people that don't have you in their best interests.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I got
like Vincent.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
What's your point? No, you can go.
There's a recurring theme with everything that we've discussed so far. And that is everything that is good about a brotherly bond can become bad when it becomes too much, when it is excessive.
Yeah.
Too trusting, too competitive.
Yeah, it's a variation on a theme.
Yeah.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, I like Vincent. I come up with the questions. You guys steal the answers. One of the things I will say this: there's a certain point of one of you guys mentioned about trust, like trusting too soon or too much, and then just being backstabbed, which I think is a common theme of tonight. With like, there's a healthy bond of guy friends, and then there's an unhealthy one where you assume, hey, I'm in a healthy bond. One person, sorry about that. There's one person who has it like this is a healthy bond of guy friends, guy bros I can call and stuff. and then the rest of them are just toxic. I hate using the word toxic because of everyone using toxic masculinity, but in this sense, there are things where people do things that are toxic in a friendship, so where you're like, you just kind of have the balls to say, you know what, I'm backing away. This is too much. Where people get a little too arrogant, they think, oh, I'm the leader of this friend. No, as long as everyone's on the same page, you're good. It's if you try to have everyone thinking I'm going to be the leader of this friendship and this brotherhood that we have, and you have everyone fighting for it, it's not going to go well. Or if you have people backstabbing you, talking crap about you behind their back, like one of the things about men is if you have an issue, come talk to me. We'll duke it out. We'll have a couple beers and we'll go from there. That's how it should be, and it's a lot of guys don't understand that because they're not being taught how to do it. Yeah. And the next question, don't worry, this question is a lot easier to understand.
Good healthy friendships, City Slickers. Bad friendship, Point Break. Utah was a prick to everybody.
Or if you want a really, really bad friendship, Sex in the City.
There we go.
Dude,
you know what?
You even mentioned that.
Brody was awesome. Though.
We should roast the living fuck out of you for even mentioning that show
on
this show.
Guess what?
Yes, agree.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's not like you guys haven't roasted me enough over almost 2 years. So
you should have.
Okay.
Well,
Steve, I'm only going to say this.
Have we though?
I could roast you. I could roast the living fuck out of you right now. But I'm just going to say this. I'm very fucking disappointed in you. Next photo, please.
Trust me.
We should do a buddy episode.
How
Steve,
do
can
you
we do an
Anyways,
episode dedicated
Mike,
to
how do
buddy
you
cop
do that?
movies?
Every time I try to play one of those, I keep breaking it.
You got to have that little girly touch. So,
Anyways,
from experience.
So we're gonna get to the next question. I'm sorry I disappointed Vincent on because that's where I thought Orty was gonna go with, like something horrendous and a train wreck, and that's what I assumed it would be. Like I don't know the show at all. I don't know. I just know from like the commercials and stuff. Like I don't know that stuff. I don't watch all that stuff. So Vincent, don't worry. I don't. It's not like whatever.
All right.
I could have picked Grey's Anatomy, and then everyone would be like, "No, you're fired. You're kicked off."
Yeah.
But
now I want hot dogs and hamburgers, Rod. Thanks.
Yeah, Rod. Good to see you, brother.
Here's the next question I have. How did you learn from your experience? How did you learn about the importance of a brotherly bond with men? We'll go with Vincent because since his answer got stolen.
Okay, how did you learn the importance of brotherly bond between men? My father and his brothers, definitely.
Okay.
Because my father was a Marine, and his two brothers were in the Navy, were sailors, and although they didn't serve together at the same time, but just watching them interact with each other, watching them, bullshit with each other, watching them rip on each other, but knowing that if anything happened, that these three people, between them would destroy anything that attempted to fuck with our family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I picked it up from. So
nice. We'll go with Orty.
I didn't steal your answer, did I, Orty?
No, you didn't. No, I'm just trying to think it through, and that's
Orty's finishing up.
I would have to go with coworkers in. Now, one thing with Gen X is we like to keep our private life and our work life separate. But when you actually find that coworker that you want to go out and have a beer with afterwards, then that's kind of like that. Especially when you're like in construction, then that kind of transcends the whole experience, and that becomes more of a brotherly bond because not only are you eating the same shit during the day, but you kind of want to you still want to hang out with this person afterwards, and so having frequent and sundry difficult, strenuous, stressful jobs, finding those people that you can hang out with after work that you just don't want to punch in the face, that's a good brotherly bond. Those are the friends that I've kept longer than my friends in high school or anything else.
Ah, nice. Tony.
Well, I don't have much of a outreach into my third dimensional life here, so excuse me if I sound a bit sappy and all
It's all
that.
good.
But a lot of the brothers that I've met on here that I have connected wirelessly or through a wire, or sometimes, well, actually, all of the time, both. You guys have pulled me out of a brink. Out of a brink of a really bad end. And I appreciate you guys for that. But I guess I have to also agree with Orty. I do have some former coworkers that are still my brothers that I still call and heckle on. And, when I go and I play cards at the shed and I leave my phone at home just to hang out with that group of people, throughout life. And I consider myself quite blessed in this matter. Throughout life, you're going to see people come and go. You're never going to have more than maybe 10 friends active in any chapter of your life. Yeah. You're going to see people come. You're going to see people leave. But it's the memories and the lessons that you learn alongside your brothers, whether you're still with them or not, that will carry you on and make you a better person. And I wholeheartedly 110% believe that. So that's what I've learned, and therefore I will continue this practice by default, because to not would be kind of, I don't know, stupid.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. It is true. Like sometimes your close bond, like with you guys, I'm in the same boat with Tony, where it's like the close friends I have is you guys. I have some close friends in person, but like the ones I work with, like I would consider you guys people I work with on this show, and I'm in constant conversation with you guys. So I built that that bond with you guys. Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. Tom, our own Michael Moore.
Yes.
He does still look like Michael
I'm still
Moore.
waiting on that cash, by the way.
Get
Tony,
my check.
Got like 400 pounds.
Tony actually had it well said, because I'm, besides Mike, which we've known each other for years, I've met a lot of new friends through him on this community, and what have you. But I do want to say one personal thing. One of my longest friends is actually my uncle, who's only 2 years older than me. To have an uncle that's so close to your age, it's like we're like brothers. You know what I mean? Like we've been through thick and thin and stuff, and it's a bond that to this day we're still like, we're more than, we're like brothers more than uncle and nephew. So because it's so close in age. But I mean, this community has been pretty interesting, meeting new people. Like I can see your friend Steve, and Jason, who's in it from another one. He's a good friend, and then meeting good people. And the rest of you, just getting to know you guys, and I don't. What's what I'm looking for? It's not just for real life. I mean, you can do it online too. And eventually maybe we'll all get together and have a meal and whatever, and just meet up and stuff. But it's just developing these
You're
bonds.
buying.
Yeah, when I make that money, that movie money, yes, definitely. But I mean, like I said, this community and my uncle and other people, but just this community, and just to add to what was said, it's grown. I'm glad that I'm part of it now, and I've got to meet some really good people. So
cool. Mike Lorber. I almost said Michael Moore to Mike. I was like, no, it's. Thank you, Tony. I'm glad that it finally worked. That laugh track worked.
I told you, Mike Foo's pretty good.
Let's see. Importance of a brotherly bond. See, that's the weird thing. I don't know. This might sound like a weird kind of answer, but I don't think I ever learned it, right? And the reason for my answer is this, right? Is I've always learned that you treat others how you want to be treated all the time.
Golden rule.
Exactly. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? And through that, I've always tried to the way I want to be treated back, right? Mostly. And I'm probably roboting right now.
You might be.
White.
No,
Don't
you're
worry,
not.
got
Maybe I'm not.
roboto-san.
Or am I roboting?
But we can hear you.
Here, I'll subtitle for him.
Sticks.
I
My
learned
internet has not
nothing
exactly
in
been the
life.
best.
My name is Mike Loderberg. My internet is
1982.
a
Sticks.
communism, and
Yeah.
my prime minister is a fag.
Yeah, exactly.
Take it away, Mike.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. I hate my internet. Okay, I don't know where I just got cut off, but okay, I'm gonna try this again. I don't think I ever learned the lesson of the importance of having like this brotherly bond between guys. It's just the simple fact of treating people the way I would like to be treated in return, right? And that being said, I don't know. It's just always been kind of reciprocated. Maybe not with everybody, but for the most part, with a lot of guys that I've worked with, right? Whether it was on doing scaffolding or construction or anything like that, I just for the most part got this ability to be able to get along with anybody, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's the secret sauce, as it were. Just treat people with respect, and I mean that way. This brotherly bond between men, just happens to come about that way. I guess. I mean, it's not like it's a huge secret.
Well, let me step in, interject, Mike. Remember,
Yeah.
with me, you, your brother, and John. All four of us shared this little apartment, tiny little one room. And then two would work days, two would
That's
work nights.
awkward.
But it was.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you could take a shower and shit too, but that's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
See, that's
Long story.
all right.
It's a long story.
That's trust. That's
It is. No,
that's a level of trust that I've known the guy for 30 years. Kind of like
Oh,
pretty
he's
much.
a brother, man. He's family.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man.
#family.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a fantastic question. I guess I learned about brotherhood first with the Boy Scouts in New Brunswick, in Beaver Scouts and Cub Scouts from a wee young age, and you're literally camping in a winter camp, and if your brothers and if you got to depend on them to build. Because you can't do everything yourself. So you delegate tasks. Some of you build a fire. Some of you build a shelter. Some of you go get supplies and whatnot. And so you got to depend on these guys to make a decent shelter, because you're all going to sleep in there, and make fire, because without fire, your weekend's going to suck. So I guess Boy Scouts was the first. And then also through work, definitely through work. I did roofing a lot, and some of that is harness work, and some of that is clearing snow in the winter. And so you're walking down a steep roof with a shovel, pushing the snow off, and you've got a guy holding your safety harness. And there's a lot of harness work, a lot of rope work, a lot of construction, where guys are trusting their fellow man, literally, with their lives, whether you're in a safety rope situation or you're holding the board and, okay, I'm going to hold the nail, and when I nod my head, you hit it. That type of situation where you're depending on the guy to realize you don't want him to hit your head, you want him to hit the nail. So there's a lot of that through work. But, also, and I could go on and on about this, I learned a lot of it, Steve, as a product of growing up in the 1980s and the 1990s. And I feel bad for guys growing up now. They don't have it. We had the Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon. We had all of these movies where for another 48 hours we had
Moonlighting.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, Simon and Simon.
But Sergeant Al Powell and you're goddamn right, Bruce Willis and Sergeant Al Powell.
We
That's an
had
example
Hudson Hawk.
of brotherhood. We had these examples of brotherhood,
the man
of
knows.
men depending on each other, and you don't have that example now. And so, and the other, I mean, do we really want to get into? I mean, how about during the pandemic when you really learned who your real brothers were and who your brothers weren't?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of people who insisted that I get the jab, and if I didn't, then they don't talk to me anymore. And so you really learn who your real brothers are, and who, if the government comes down the road looking to put you into some sort of unvaxxed camp, whose door are you going to go to? You know, that's what you start thinking about. So the last 4 years this is a super important topic, Steve. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I think with this, for me, it was in different stages. It's during the flu or COVID, whichever name you want to call it. I call it the flu because that's what it was. Canadians, you are right. Like, you learned who your close friends and you would think like, hey, my family is gonna stick by me. Sometimes that didn't work out so well.
No, they don't.
And you learned like, oh, it's friends. And what I've learned with being friends with Gary for a while now is the bond that I have with him is just as much as like a brother. I learn things from him, and it's just like I can go to him, I can go to Mike, I can go to pretty much any of you guys. Like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, or this is what I'm dealing with, and it's that bond. It's a journey, and a lot of guys these days, they don't understand because they think, oh, brotherly bond and all that stuff. Whatever you want to name it, it could be. The title of this episode could be anything really. It's just a bond that you have. That men have. Like, there's a bond with like guys, like college frat guys and stuff. Like, okay, yeah, that's all fun and games. Yeah. But when then you get older, you're out of college and you're dealing with life, and then you're men, and there's a bond there that you're never gonna get anywhere else. It's as close as you're gonna get to a brother, even sometimes more than a brother, because it's like, hey, look, we got to go dig a hole. Or we got to do something. Like, you're there to the end. It doesn't leave. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's thick and thin. That's what it is with guys. And sometimes you'll get some guys who are just, no, not really. Actually, like, any man would, if you get to know the people really well, man, it's like you stick really well. And even during 2016, when I lost probably 99% of my friends because I voted for this guy, just because of me voting for that guy, they were like, you're not who I thought you were. I was like, really? You've known me for 20 years. Like, what's changed? And
here's the thing, Steve. You didn't lose friends. You refined your friends. That's what it is.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, Tony's not frozen. Tony, you're frozen.
No, I'm just waiting for. But I do have a point on this, actually.
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
The thing is we as human beings, not just men, but just as human beings, we're not designed to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of friends. I got news for you. We don't process information that way. We're not going to remember everybody's name from 10 years ago. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. So you pick your friends, or your friends pick you, and if you're both wise enough and pick each other, those are the ones you want to keep. Those are the ones that are going to go the distance with you. Those are going to be the names that you're going to have worth remembering. Those are going to be the people that will be there to have your back.
Yeah.
Fair weather friends
See,
come and go, because you say Rancor Steve says this was a journey. Yeah, it's an interstate. There's ways in, there's ways out, and you're going to be sharing lanes with people.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be sharing the lanes with everybody that you meet as you drive down that interstate. There's going to be people that are going to take this exit. There's going to be people that take that exit. There's going to be people that are going to slide in. There's going to be people that are going to slide out. At the end of the day, it's the people that you know that you want to carpool with on this interstate of life. They're going to be with you the whole way. And I got news for you. You can only fit 5 or 6 people in a minivan.
Yeah, we're going to need a big fucking bus for this group.
And always remember,
it is
enough. Like,
when you think
have
about
you
it,
ever been to a frat house where they shove 20 guys in a little minivan? I've seen it done, and they're all football players.
Bye, Diego.
When you deal
Take
with,
care, Diego. God bless.
Please.
What were you going to say,
Vaya
Vincent?
con huevos.
when you just to bring up the social media aspect of it again, when you do a show like this, and when you do other shows like the shows that Orty and I do, and you talk with people and you get to know them, it doesn't matter, what they like. I mean, Steve was saying that 90% of the people that he called friend got rid of him because he voted for Donald Trump. But the people that you meet here, they involve themselves in your life in such a way that you don't see in meat space, in real life.
Meat space?
Yeah, meat space.
Yeah.
As opposed to cyberspace.
Have
meat
none of you
space.
read William Gibson?
You people really
Oh my
need to
God.
read William Gibson.
The meat space. That's an interesting thing to call the third dimension, but
But
water
Embrace
space.
it.
My point is, though, I mean, like, Steve and I are like almost diametrically opposed. We share the same political beliefs, but I don't see Steve reading Shakespeare. I don't see Steve drinking wine.
Nope.
I don't see Steve
Wow.
trying to make creme brulee without burning the kitchen down. Those are the things that I do. But Steve doesn't see me going out riding dirt bikes. Steve doesn't see me building a house, because those are the things that he does. But we still like each other. We still respect each other.
Yes.
And there's a bond there. And I really didn't know where I was going with that. So somebody
none
talk
of us.
No, I like
You did
that.
it
It's,
eloquently.
I will say this. I'll get to Tom next. I'll drink wine, as long as it's red and bitter.
There you go.
I don't care I don't care about the notes and all that. The 55,000 notes, like how liberals think there's 50,000 genders. I just care. Does it get me a buzz?
Finish.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I'll drink it. Tom. But yes, you are probably right. Creme brulee, I might burn the house.
Yeah,
down.
I got another point after Tom.
No, I'm just going to add to the points here is remember, you can pick your friends and you can pick your noses. Just never pick your friends' noses. That's all.
That's right.
I've actually just
None of
proven
us.
That's a good one right there.
That's a
None
very
of us are
that's a
as good
very
as all of us. That's
intimate
another
act
thing.
you just described.
Because as Vincent was pointing out, he's definitely, doing different things than Steve. But, when you have friends that are from all walks of life, you're able to potentially, as a group, do a lot more than you could ever do yourself. None of us are as good as all of us. Man is a pack animal. We are meant to coalesce. We are meant to work with one another. We're meant to use our strengths and weaknesses and become a unit. We're not meant to try and just be, I'm just going to do everything by myself, do it all alone, and then just screw up whenever you're doing something you have no clue about.
To expand on that, I mean, it's, a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're different from me. I can't hang out with you. We don't believe the same things." We don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
No one's saying that you have to. It's that just irritates the fuck out of me. I mean, I have liberal friends that I follow on Twitter. We have reasonable, normal conversations like people used to have back in the day. We don't agree on everything. And that's great, because if we were all the fucking same, it would be a pretty boring world.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's
Yeah.
like it's with I have a close friend of mine. He's very progressive liberal. But here's the thing. We get along. Because we don't try to one up each other on politics. I don't think we really talk about politics. We leave that at the door. Man, we have fun. I get to see him every once in a while, and it's friends in the family on my wife's side.
Right.
He's great. Like I like hanging out with his family. It's awesome. We understand we're two different people, but it's like, you know what? We can have fun. We can have beer. Because we're all like, he's a big whiskey and scotch enthusiast. Like he has the best. That's what also I did this weekend, was drink a lot of his whiskey. He has really good stuff.
Oh, we saw.
And yeah, I posted a picture. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and I saw the wine. I saw the wine in the Aperol there. I was like, yeah, he's making an.
That
Aperol.
was that was a different drink. He was pulling it out for the next day.
You're so full of shit, Steve. Just admit you had an Aperol spritzer. They're tasty. There's nothing wrong with it.
I did.
They are quite delicious.
You know what? I'm going to be man enough and say this. You know what? Sometimes the chick drinks, they're pretty good. I'm not going to.
Exactly.
I will say this. I went. So Tyler and I, once in a while on Monday, if he's watching, how you doing, brother? We go to a bar, and just to hang out and talk, to get to know each other, check up on each other, like accountability, and we've bonded really well with that. And it's just we like to try new beers, and we like to try it with each other. That's another thing. If you bond really well with like having a beer, or like scotch or whiskey, like that's cool because the conversation is awesome. He comes to me at the table with this bitch of a drink, pink as purple, and I'm like, and I'm looking at him dead straight. I'm like, dude, are you gonna wuss out on me? Or are you gonna fag out on me right now? Like, what is that? He's like, he's like, no, try it. I was like, no, like I'm gonna rainbows are gonna start popping out of my ears or something like that. I tried it, man, that was good. So I got me one. Most refreshing beer I had in a long time. And so I'll admit it, I had that drink that you were talking about, but it was good. I'm not gonna lie.
Steve,
I was expecting an umbrella with it, but
you've taken your first steps in a much larger world.
But here's the thing. I will say this right now.
He got girl.
By the way, Vincent, that quote's going to tie in later in the show, and you're going to chuckle when it does.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing like getting drunk, Steve. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Or pregnant.
It's way too much sugar, though. But that's what I'm talking about. If Vincent, you are right. Like you could have a group of guys, and we could be polar opposite. Like I like to go to the gun range, or I like to do weird things with my hands, get my hands dirty and do those things. And there's some guys that are like, I just don't want to do that. But you'll find a common ground where you just be like, you know what, we're sticking through this to the end. And I know a lot of guys who are like never wanted to go to the gun range, and they're like, and that's the thing. Some guys, they never push what they love to do on guys, but then eventually they'll be like, you know what? I want to try out this thing because they don't want to feel left out. They want to be a part of that. And then when they do, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do more of this. And also the other thing, there's different phases. You have the single guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You're more than welcome to correct me on this one. There are 3 different phases with men, with bonding of friendships, because it's a cycle. With women, I think it stays the same, really. But with men, it's a little bit different. There you have the single guys who only have their bro bond friendship with other single guys because that's where they are. Everything is relatable there. Then you have the dating ones. You've moved on. Now you have good friends and you have that brotherly bond with guys who are dating. Then when you get married, then it's like only married guys stick together and stuff. And I try to mix it up a little bit. And then it's like when you have kids and then you have that other one. So it's like 4. So there's a phase that guys go through where it's like it changes. But sometimes you always have that one guy friend that just sticks around and just stays there and be like, hey, look, hey, cool. Am I wrong on that one? Or am I correct?
No, you're right.
I don't bracket my
No,
people
you're wrong,
that I hang
because
out with into a certain category, though. I don't consider that a part of a process. Now, if somebody is cool, I'm going to hang out with them, and if we're cool enough, we'll become brothers. That's it.
And it's
That's
not.
yeah.
Some guys are not like that, and some are. It's different and stuff. But what were you gonna say, Ordy?
Steve, you're wrong, because there's a fifth one that you left out. Probably because you haven't experienced yet. The divorced guy who has friends in all the categories.
Oh,
yeah.
dude. That's
At
me
that
3
point, you've
times
moved
over.
through all the previous ones, and now you get to pick and choose which type of activities you're going to partake in. The drunken debauchery with your still single friends, the dinner with your married friends or your family friends, or so yeah, you got you get all that, and that's actually the best level, because you have no fucks to give anymore.
I don't think I'll ever be in that category,
because your
you never
will is
say
crushed
never.
after that.
But let's get to the next question here, as I'm trying to fondle.
I didn't do it. You can't prove it.
He did say
I
fondle.
know, right?
And yeah, Rod Thunderheart, it is the one with the upstairs bed over the cab.
So I have no idea what that conversation is.
Right there. There's the bed
Oh,
over the cab. It's got my inflatable tube in it right now, but that is.
Your inflatable
Tube.
tube. That's what you call it. Okay.
Inflatable tube.
Yeah.
Tubing.
so here's a question, Tom. How can guys learn to have a healthy bond with men?
How can you learn? Trial and error, to be honest with you. That's the best way to put it. Just trial and error. I mean,
I don't recommend jail.
because life experience is really, because you're going to have some unhealthy ones, and then it's good to know to learn when to walk away. Say, nah, this is not good. You're a user. You're this. You're that. And just trial and error. It's the best way to learn. Just like in anything in life, fall flat in your face. Okay, I've learned. I'm not going to do that again. And then it's the same with people. Sometimes you learn to know with the snakes in the grass, the backstabbers, as I said before, the people that will say one thing to you and then to another behind your back. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. You learn from trial and error. Just, and I'm guilty for this, to giving opportunities. Like, I'll give you another chance. I'll give you another chance. And then eventually I was stupid enough. I wouldn't learn. Now with age over time, the last 10 years, I'm like, I don't deal with that shit anymore. Now I've learned. It took me years. So really, it was just by trial and error with me, because I was always too nice, the empath, whatever. No, you're fake. I give you 3, just like in baseball terms, 3 strikes, you were gone.
Yeah.
That's really the best.
That's yeah. We'll go with Tony.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have something profound for this one. I have to agree with Tom here. At the end of the day, everybody's different. You really can't put a guideline or an outline that can be a blanket statement over everybody's individual case, and nor shouldn't you. So with that, I would also just say, yeah, it's just trial and error. I like to describe it as being a bumblebee in the living room. You're going to bounce around on that ceiling. You're going to hit the wall. You may occasionally get swatted at, just to try to get out of the house. Sometimes you're going to get out of the house. Sometimes, well, the dog's going to eat you. It's all one big gamble. Life is not meant to have that much of an instruction to where you don't experience life, which includes losing, which includes making mistakes, which includes, learning from them. And it shouldn't. That's the formula that we're meant to endure. So yeah, trial and error. Just and as you learn, knowledge comes from learning, experience and wisdom comes from living. You just gotta live. You just gotta put the time in. Time will reveal a lot of things to you if you let it. If you're arrogant and egotistical and closed-minded and don't want to see clues as they are thrown at you or signs as they're revealed to you, then obviously you're never going to, get there. So no, just Take it one step at a time. One step.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man.
Wow. That yeah, the last 10 seconds of what Tony just said is spot on.
I don't try to be profound. I really don't.
You said you
Surprise,
clarified.
motherfucker.
You cautioned us with that you weren't going to be profound, and then you did it completely.
Did it again. Let's see.
I can't trust you anymore.
I know. I'm supposed to be one of the guys. Why do I sound like a school teacher or something? God.
Yeah, Steve, you're gonna have to. I'm all bent out of shape now after Tony's comments. What's the real answer you're looking for? What was the real question? What was the question?
The question is, how bent out and confused is Canadian Spider-Man with Hombre or Senorita? No, how can guys?
They're all fucking dudes. Don't trust any of them. Do not date. Dating's over, gents. Let the women buy their own damn lunches.
So the question is, how can
I
guys
think that's
learn
the
to have a
smartest thing
healthy-
anyone said tonight. Let them buy their own lunches.
Let the man cook.
So how can guys learn to have a healthy relationship with a bond with other men?
Oh, well, 20 years ago, had you asked me that question, I would have said join the military.
God damn you!
Obviously,
stealing my
now-
fucking answer.
Obviously now you don't want to. I mean, literally,
Now you're just gonna have to have. You're gonna have to have Vincent go first on every question now.
Trudeau's.
No,
I know.
I'm fucking done. Don't
That's
ask me
not my
anything.
answer.
I'll just
That's not my answer.
I'll
'cause
just
Trudeau's putting
I'll just
tampons
shit
in-
post in the private chat. I'll post memes.
Oh god.
Taking my meeting and going home.
No, don't join the military in Canada now because you'll have tampons in the men's rooms. It's not a good way to mail. You don't bond over the tampon machine. Generally, men don't do that.
Yeah.
It's the new water cooler.
though.
Unless
Yeah,
you're both
exactly.
conspiring to rip it off the fucking wall. Then that actually has led to male bonding. Yeah, and then covering it up. And you got to keep a secret. You can't tell who did it. That actually has contributed to male bonding.
Yeah.
Tampons and
That's
men.
right, ladies and gentlemen. Just go commit a
So-
crime. It'll work out.
How do you
for me.
bond?
Exactly.
You know what, Steve? I would say your employment. Go do construction. Go do jobs where your life depends on another man on the other end of that rope, or so construction through your work is a good way to bond with men, and also the people that are going to coach you, that are going to teach you about the new construction job, most often are men, so you're going to bond with them that way. And the other way, and I'll just I might as well. The other way you can do it is that's my buddy John to get outdoors. That's on top of Whistler Mountain.
Nice.
And you get on top of you get on top of mountains. You go hiking together. You go canoeing together. You put yourself in each other's hands. That's how you bond. Do outdoor adventures together.
I like that. All right, Vincent, what's your answer?
Join the fucking army. You learn
Or
from
better
day
yet,
one.
the Navy.
You learn from day one. You learn who the good guys are, who your battle buddies are, and who the shitbirds are. And you learn how to separate the two. And that's all there is to it.
I'm not gonna lie, that was gonna be my answer too. Not that I was in the military, but that was where you go, Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Navy is there's a lot of seamen in the Navy.
There's a lot of what now?
Seamen?
Yeah.
Seamen.
12 Purrs talking about the Navy.
Seamen.
Okay, now I got it. I thought you said females. I was like, I just wanted to clarify.
No, females aren't. No ships. No, females and ships don't go. No.
No.
Females not on ships. No, bad idea.
Anyways,
bad idea. Unless it's Hugh Hefner. Unless Hugh Hefner is captaining the boat.
No, I think it's the same thing in the army. No females in Korea.
No,
not at all.
Mm.
Because you'll never nail them if that's your intention. White American females in Korea are reserved for E9 and above.
Mm.
They're the only ones that get to nail them.
The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
Orty.
Yes, hi. Present.
Hi.
How you doing?
We are
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I wish.
The berries are
I'm
kicking
doing well.
in.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
I honestly don't believe that you can learn it. It's something that it's part instinct, but because every one of those relationships is unique, you kind of have to look at it in hindsight or as it's passing that, hey, this is a good friendship, or like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to keep that person at arm's length. We have a couple hobbies together, but whatever. It's not something that you can like, oh, hey, I'm totally going to make this friendship work out this time because reasons. It's not something you can learn to do. It's just something that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be put into experiences with people who become your friends, like the military or construction, whatever your case may be. But I don't honestly believe that you can learn to become friends with people. It's organic. It's not something you can work at. It's not like you can I'm going to operate on my think muscle and learn how to pick better friends. That fails 100% of the time. Sorry to bring down your question there.
I know, right? Yeah. No, it's that you're right about that because it isn't really necessarily a learning thing. I think I put learning down because there's some guys who assume, like me, I'll put that into me so you guys can roast me on that one. I don't care. But there are some guys, they think, oh, you have to learn things. Not necessarily like Orty, you're right about that. There's no way of learning how to have that bond with other men as a friend. It's more of experience and like trial and error situation. It's like, well, that group didn't work out so well. I'm going to try that group. And eventually you're going to nail in a group. Did I miss anyone else?
Yeah.
Who, you?
Yeah.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Twitter.
Amigo.
Twitter.
Here's the thing. I think Twitter. I think it's more along the lines of having more or less like a tight bond between guys. Is kind of like what you're looking at right there.
Boo this man.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Here we go.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
No.
What? It's a prop that's right there. Come on. Jeez, you Philistines. Yeah, no, like kind of what Orty said. It's something that you don't really learn. It just happens, right? You just I don't know. People, I find in life, people just come across your life every once in a while, and depending who comes across, you end up finding these, I don't know, accidental similarities, as I kind of like to call it. These accidental similarities that you find a common bond with, and then from there you kind of build up on that. You end up, I don't know, you just end up hanging out, doing stuff together, talking, and it's not something that you really learn. It's just something that ends up happening. Like for example, Tom and me, right? We ended up meeting at like a university radio station, right? And he was on after my gig, and we just ended up striking up a conversation after we ended up meeting, like, I don't know, like a few times, right? And
get out in time.
He liked what I was doing. I liked what he was doing. And we just hit it off as a friendship, right? Next thing you know, we end up hanging out, going out to some clubs in St. John's,
stories,
just,
all the
drinking
stories.
buddies, and then a little later
Country
on,
western
ended up
No
yeah,
gargoyles. It
ended
was
up
more-
critiquing at no, ended up yeah, yeah, gargoyles, and then ended up hanging out at critiquing at certain other types of bars and stuff like that, where members of the yeah, where people of the opposite sex ended up wearing almost less than nothing, and you just end up who you end up with as friends. That's all that it is, and it takes
they
a
had
little
free
bit of
pool
listening.
tables.
Well, yeah, that's true too. So I can't complain about that. It's just who you hit it off with, what similarities you have, what are things that you find in common. You end up building up on that. Some people are gonna come and go after a while. Some people are just gonna stick around because they know that you reciprocated a kindness to them, and if that's reciprocated back, you got a friendship going on. I mean, there have been dozens of people over time where I found out they ended up talking behind my back. Like, I've never had friends at school, growing up, never did. And it was only till when I got older, it's like I wiped that slate clean, ended up hanging around with a bunch of guys, and they ended up being, true blue friends after a while, or you end up going to some sort of construction site, and and that's the most important thing too. Whether you're in the military, whether you're on, whether you're working, like, especially on a construction site, if you're all trying to do like some sort of common goal where you have to work together and you got to get along with like your coworkers or people in a platoon or something like that. If you're working up towards a common goal, towards something, then that team has to end up getting along. And and if you got a guy that isn't an arsehole, that's your supervisor or whoever's up above you, and if they're saying stuff like, what, yeah, we did a really good job, you did a really good job today, you reciprocate that back, right? Yeah, thanks, man, I appreciate that. Hey, yeah, gonna be going out and doing something later on, you want to go out for a beer or something like that. Next thing you know, your pool of friends ends up growing. You want to hang around some of these people because they're fun to be around, right?
Mm-hmm.
You end up joking around with them. You end up, I don't know, give them a call or something like that. Like, hey, dude, I really got a problem. I think you can, can you help me out? It just ends up growing deeper over time, right? So
yeah,
I don't think you can really learn it. It just happens.
Yeah. Well, you guys sure shot that question to the ground, and we're like, well,
Yeah.
no,
We're
for
good
me,
about
you guys are right. It's more of a kind of just a bonding. It's where you trial and error and everything. It's for me. It's I learned real quick how men actually talk doing construction. Boy, there's not a lot of people that can actually handle that. And I've been asked that before. Of like, do you think I could be work in the construction? And I just look at them nicely. I said, sure. Deep down, no, you would not be able to last because you're working with guys who've been doing it for like 40 years and they're old and they don't
have
know
no
the
filter.
new. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, they do not. If you ever want to know how men really
Yeah,
talk,
they're
go onto a
Generation
construction site, and if you're a liberal, oh man, your brain, you will have an aneurysm. You will have a seizure. You'll mentally break down. You'll cry, and you'll be like, "I want to go to Canada again."
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, it's a lot of fun.
Same with the Coast Guard, working with the shipmen, the boat guys. Oh, they don't.
Do they really?
Yeah, I was
count,
gonna say
though?
pretty much any blue collar job is like that because as
Yeah.
truckers, fuck, we'll wreck you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember I was on a trip when I was in high school. Right before I went to college, we went to go skiing in Colorado, and there was a truckers that were talking back and forth. My buddy actually had the same system, so he's like, "You want to tune in on this?" We're like, "Yeah, dude." He thought he was the smartest one in the car, and he's like started talking crap to them. Dude, this guy, my buddy, got annihilated by these truckers. They're like, "We'll find you, we'll hunt you down." And I'm looking around, I was like, there's about like 4 truckers around us right now. It could be one of them. And I was like, dude, we're gonna get we're never coming out on the end on this one. We're dead. We're done.
They're gonna rape
but
us.
It's been a while.
There's no crying in construction.
But the thing that it's how guys can, I'll change it, how guys can experience to have a healthy or whatever flavor of the word that you want to use of that week kind of thing. I would say get to know older men, because they'll not that I'm not looking for you to go, hey, I'm gonna grow a bond with older men who are like in their 60s and 70s. No, but just listen to them, hear how they talk. Like, there's a difference between how guys talk and how men talk.
Yeah,
it's totally
there's
different.
a difference between the way I talk and the way other people talk.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
And like, for example, me, like if Gary calls me, sometimes I will say a very colorful word to him. Starts with an F and ends with a G or a T. And that's our friendship. That's our bond. And he'll do the same thing back to me. And with guys, it's like, oh, hi, how you doing? You're going to go play Call of Duty? I'm going to go play Call of Duty. You want to play Fortnite? Sure, okay. Oh, bro, you missed one step. Oh, you got me. Now, when you're men, it's like, you screwed up. Why are you doing it that way? Okay, let's go have a beer. Let's hang out. Like, there's a difference when guys have fights, guy friends have fights, and when men have fights.
So
yeah,
what do you?
Fights? What?
I was going to say there is a difference when men have fights and women have fights. But what do you? I mean, at what point?
Like what?
There is, but what do you do if your really close guy friend ends up being in love with this total psycho bitch and they're gonna get married? I mean, do you really tell him? He tells you, oh, we're gonna get married.
Yes, you do.
I've been kid and like, what do you tell them? Like,
you absolutely do.
Yes.
I actually got knocked off a bar stool for having that conversation with a friend of mine, and then 10 years later, I mean, we haven't been friends since, but 10 years later, I had the vindication of being right because he became the ultimate cuck. Literally.
Yeah.
So
when it comes to that situation, I think it kind of depends on who the guy is. If it's a guy that is willing to handle, because there's different levels. I've learned this. That's a good question, though, Canadian Spider-Man. There's different levels with guys that I've experienced, and it's different with everyone else.
I don't want to know.
Is some guys who are like, hey, I met this chick, she's really awesome, all this yada yada yada, go down the list of like, cool, all right, cool, and he's like, I'm gonna marry her. With the other guys, they're like, I see the red flags, it's across the board, don't do it. Some of the guys will be able to handle the truth of the like, hey, you can actually tell them like, dude, don't do this, it's bad, like you're gonna lose everything. And then there's some guys who are like, you could tell them, but they're not going to listen because they're all like deeply in love and all this stuff. And then they're going to, like what Ordy said, 10 years later, however long, they're going to say, hey, look, you were right. And so there's 2 different types of guys with that. Some that can actually handle the truth and some that can't.
You can't handle the truth.
And that's okay.
You need me on that wall.
Yeah. It's
He's not wrong. He's not
But
wrong.
that is a good question because there's some guys that are like, especially the ones that never been deep in a relationship where they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get married and all this stuff, because it's a learning situation. We should talk about that as a
what it
topic.
boils down to today. I mean, when we're older, we knew what to do.
Is
But
this a
these
separate
days,
show?
no, these
It's a separate
guys
topic.
these days they end up marrying the first girl they fuck.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's wrong. Don't
that
do
is
that.
absolutely the wrong thing
Don't
to do.
do that. No, definitely.
That gives me an idea for an episode now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tweeter. Oh, I know an episode we can do. Every question you ask me, I'll answer with a Shakespeare quote.
Oh, you would. You would.
I would. I even got one for today.
Well, what is your Shakespearean quote of the day?
Those friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new hatched, unfledged courage.
Ooh.
That's from Hamlet. That means,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what it means.
Oh yeah.
No, I
Grapple
got the
them
first
to
half.
thy soul with hoops of steel. That means when you have good friends, you keep them.
Yes.
But don't blow your money, your time, and your effort into motherfuckers who ain't worth it.
Yeah. That is because you'll get Ooh. But on that note, hopefully, if Rumble Studio has solved this one, it ain't gonna do it. Dang it. So after a while, Rumble Studio, if you don't do anything on Rumble Studios, it just goes, nope, not today. So we're gonna do tip of the hat today.
Oh.
Yeah. Tony, it's been a while. We changed tip of the hat. I don't pick a name out anymore. It's a surprise for everyone else, but you get to pick a name for you. Anyone who has played a big
pick
role.
the hat to tip.
Yeah, it could be a friend, family member, anyone, or whoever inspired you. It could be an author, whatever it is.
A fictional character.
Yeah.
A god.
It could
a
be
mountain,
Iron Man.
anything.
Damn, I was going to say Dr. Doom, but no, I'm kidding.
So that's what we like to do, because here at Man-O-Rama, unlike society, we like to give props for men who have inspired us to be better men, because society doesn't like masculinity because they think it's toxic. Well, that's because you've lost your balls and you should grow them back. Too bad you can't grow them back, so you're screwed either way. So who would like to go first? I'll say that, because every time I pick someone, they're like, oh, I'm looking at you, Tom. No.
So do I need to?
Because everyone, Tom.
Do I need to message you?
Yeah.
Who I want to put into the hat, or?
No, we'll let you. No, so we'll give you an example. We'll let you go near the end, so you get an example of how this has changed a little bit. Who would like to go first? Who would
Ordy
like to
will go first.
All right, Ordy.
I'll go first. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Frank Oz.
God damn it! You took my answer.
Oh God.
Well, I didn't think we were going to be talking about Frank Oz today. Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Pretty weird.
So, not because of his puppetry work, which, I mean, it was obviously fantastic. And he did that for so long, and he never wanted to be a puppeteer. That wasn't what he wanted to do. He just kind of did it and was good at it. But Frank Oz, he taught me the art of sometimes saying less is more. And that was in his acting roles in Blues Brothers, Trading Spaces. The funniest scene is one of the funniest scenes in Spies Like Us is him not saying a fucking thing during the testing. He just, the way he's watching, I laugh more at that than all the shenanigans going on. And Frank, and in the films he directed too, What About Bob, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, just taught me so much about less is more, that you can do more with just a quick little snide quip or even just a look than you can with a whole bit. So that's my tip of the hat this week.
All right.
Plus, I mean, he's a fantastic puppeteer too.
Yeah. Vincent, you were going to say Frank Oz?
No, I was going to say William Shakespeare.
Oh.
William Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems. And in all that work, he completely encompassed the entirety of every human emotion and feeling there is to describe. That's it. Everything that you have felt, everything that you have said, everything that you have dealt with, he wrote about, and he wrote about it 500 years ago. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm sorry, what was that?
He wrote about Circle K's?
I'm sure he did. They were just named differently.
That was called Macbeth.
Yeah, that was Macbeth.
The old play of circle.
No, you never say Macbeth. You always call it the Scottish play, especially when you perform it, because bad things happen when you don't.
Well, you know what? I'll say Macbeth. Whatever. I'm Irish.
Okay.
I'm
And then I'm waiting for your lighting rig to explode.
Vince is like, please let this work. Mike.
Yeah. Let's see.
Frank Oz.
Waka waka waka.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I got one. I got a good one. Okay.
Does
My
it involve
tip
sticking
of the
your hand
hat.
up a puppet's ass?
Yes.
Have you not?
Not yet. No, I have. Yeah. No, go figure.
Oh.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I'm sure everybody wants to get their hand up his ass. So, and give him a good reaming. So my
Can you do a
tip
little
of the
tickle?
hat, that being said, exactly. Well, he's probably been tickled too many times already as it is anyway. So, because my tip of the hat goes to Justin Trudeau.
Oh,
And
man,
why-
what? You better have
why-
a good reason behind
walking
it.
away.
Right.
You better.
Exactly. See,
You.
no,
Thank you, Tony.
You know why?
Boy.
I see Canadian Spider-Man's almost pass out, and like Tom's about to walk off stage here. So why Justin Trudeau? I'll tell you exactly why. Because if it wasn't for this friggin' muppet of a man, right? This runoff of a day-glow abortion of a man, then it wouldn't be unifying pretty much most of Canada to realize how much he is reviled and hated and disgusted at than this man right here. And if it wasn't for Justin Trudeau, then it wouldn't make people realize almost 10 years in his tenure as prime minister that we need absolute change in this country. Yes. And that change is going to be coming swift like the sword of Damocles when the next election hits.
Sort of Damocles.
I was trying to find the picture of Justin Trudeau doing a brown face.
Oh, doing blackface? Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's not hard to find. There's many of them.
I know. I have it somewhere on the computer. I didn't have
No,
enough
you need
time.
to find all the ones where he's like in costume. Like when he's dressed up as a Mountie, and when he's dressed up as like in Indian Maharaja and all that.
Yeah, that one.
He's a fucking drama.
There's so many to choose from.
I know. If it wasn't for this man, then the world would not have realized what a fucking retard Kardashian that this person is.
Oh, dude, the Ottawa trucker convoy wouldn't have happened. We showed the world how to have a peaceful protest.
You know what you guys did? I'm going to bag on Canada for a second.
That's right.
What the Canadian truckers?
That's my tip of the hat.
All right, that's a good one. All right, you've
yeah.
You got us a little worried there. But what I'll say about Canadian truckers is you grew enough of one pair of balls to what 1776 was.
Exactly.
Got to grow them a little bit bigger, baby.
That's right. A little bit of killions.
But we'll go with Tom.
Sorry, that was Toby the dragon, and he was going to burn your face off if you were going to say something nice about him. But we know.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
Your name is Toby.
Tom, tell us about. I'm going to put you on the simping board soon.
What?
Oh yeah.
Nothing.
No, actually, I'm going to talk about a gentleman who influenced me. I might have talked before. I'm not sure. Peter Salmon. He's from Wales. He was my art teacher in high school.
Oh.
I used to get in trouble when I was in high school. I was kind of a rascal, and I was, and I actually got suspended for a while, and then I remember him sitting down with me. He said, told him he had really the Wales accent. I'm not even going to try it, but he was funny as hell. But then one time he got serious with me. He sat down with me and took the time and said, "Smarten your ass up. You have potential." And he seen something in me then with my love for art, which turned into this, my love for photography and being behind the camera and film too. And I remember when we had the stage thing when they brought in the NBCCD. This is many years before I actually went there. That he's seen something in me and he had the faith in me, and it was like, whoa. And I remember keeping in touch with him when he quit teaching high school. He got tired of the gig, and he just taught independent artists in the Uptown area. He had above a Java Moose, he'd have his own independent studio. Plus, he always say it's get away from the wife for a night, because he'd sleep in his studio. But sadly, he passed away a few years ago. But a talented artist, did many showings in town himself, was a great teacher, but he had faith in me, and he believed in me and my ability as an artist, which turned making me a photographer, filmmaker, and I thank him 100% for that, because that's what caused me to love and passion for that. So it was very inspiring, because he believed in me when not many other people did. So it was like, yeah,
that's cool. There you go. Oh. So Tony,
nice.
Do you have someone in your mind? Now do you get an idea of what this? We changed it like drastically.
It has indeed changed, but I believe
you have it. Do you have someone, or do you want to?
I have my answer.
All right, cool. Go.
You can have me go now, or you could save the best for last. I'll leave the ball in your court.
You can go now.
Ooh.
Very well.
Because Canadian Spider-Man looks busy getting high off of leaves right now.
I think he's also busy being livid that somebody would ever speak about the name Trudeau in any kind of sense of positivity. Yeah. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a time in every young man's life where they have questions. Questions about their purpose in life. Questions about what they're supposed to like. How they're supposed to enjoy their leisure time. And it's these young men that are often lost and require a shepherd to bring them home. Someone that teaches them priorities and makes them realize the finer things in life. This man is an entrepreneur, a businessman, a successful individual in finances, and with a lot of people that he has ensured that these little boys can enjoy along the way. I'm speaking of the none other, the iconic, the tried, the true. Hugh Hefner of the Playboy magazine.
I was going to say Vincent Charles.
I was the anticipation, but carry on. What about Hugh Hefner?
I was going to go Rupert Murdoch.
Hugh Hefner. Never has one man aligned more people to appreciating the finer things in life than Hugh Hefner. I pass it on to the next.
All right. I
think we can all gather around titties and ass.
That's right.
See? Yeah.
We can,
that's
Mike.
One common ground we all can agree on.
We can all agree.
Titties.
Canadian Spider-Man. Who is your tip of the hat?
Well, I'm a working man, and I think that a lot of the guys here, all of you, will
Caitlyn Jenner for tits and ass.
I actually haven't worked that much this year, but what little work I have done was construction. I want to give a tip of the hat to a gentleman that has shone a spotlight on the people, and by people I mean men, who really make society function, who actually get the job done. And I want to tip my fucking hat, and I know you all agree with me, to Mike Rowe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike
I don't
Rowe,
agree. I'm kidding.
if you're not, anyone who's not familiar with Mike Rowe, he's a sexy beast of a man, well over 6 foot tall, I think, a beefy kind of guy. And he has hosted Dirty Jobs, as well as World's Most Dangerous Jobs, and et cetera, et cetera.
And the Maytag Man.
And to this day, he's on YouTube right now. So as soon as you finish with Rancor Steve on Rumble or YouTube, go check out Mike Rowe, because he's got his own channel, and he's been highlighting the jobs that men do that never get exposed, that never get talked about. And I want a tip of a hat to Mike Rowe, because there's not enough recognition to the men. And I'm sorry, ladies, but it's 99% men. So I'm just going to say men, because it fucking is. To the men that make society work. They dig the dirt. They lift the steel. They move the rocks. They dig the shit. They remove the bodies.
Yeah.
They make society work. And Mike Rowe has been doing Dirty Jobs and Deadliest Catch and all. You like seafood? Good. You want seafood? Go fucking spend a week on a crab boat off Alaska. Hey, lady who lives in Los Angeles who likes a $500, king crab meal. You want that king crab? You got to go catch it yourself. Strap on the harness, bitch. Go catch it yourself. Right. And you're not going to need high heels on the crab boat. That's not going to work.
No.
That's
He's got an awesome
talking
podcast, too. He's got an awesome podcast,
I'll
too.
have to check him out. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe? You better know Mike Rowe.
Well, I know who it is.
Okay. Mike Rowe. Deadliest Catch. I wanted to go volunteer and work on Deadliest Catch, and I'm not sure I'm enough of a man, to be honest. I don't know that I can handle it.
It's a different level of masculinity. I'll say
it's
that.
too cold.
I couldn't do
Fuck that shit. I'll do
plus
50.
You got the risk of being tossed off the boat, especially during storms, man.
Hey, I enjoy being tossed off.
I bet you do.
We all do.
We all do. So my tip of the hat would be, and I was actually in his town this weekend, Tim Allen. It just so happened I was in the town that he lives in,
Tim Allen.
Colorado. Yeah.
Have you read his book, Don't Stand Close to a Naked Man?
No, I have another one. I have his other book, one of his first ones. But I want to tip my hat to Tim Allen for the fact that he doesn't allow people to dictate what he believes in. Like he's very much like respectful of what other people believe in, but he'll let you know what his thoughts are, and it's pretty cool. Like seeing him on X and like what he does and stuff, and I just like his determination. It's like, you know what, people may not like what you believe in or your opinions and whatever it is, but don't let that stop you. They're your opinions. Don't let people change your opinions for their benefits. Like if someone likes Star Trek, Star Wars, if someone likes the Beatles, like that's their opinion. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. It just means that's what they like.
And he's friends with Mike Rowe.
Yeah. Or I have friends that are liberals, or I have friends that are libertarian, conservative. It doesn't matter. It's like those are their opinions. And with him, he's very respectful. He has taught me how to be respectful for other people's opinions, but let them know, like, hey, if you know they're wrong, you can let them know they're wrong on some things. That doesn't mean all the time, but yeah, that's my tip of the hat. Sorry I couldn't get the video. I like having the video on and stuff, but that's a nice episode.
Steve, you mentioned Star Trek. Cancel yourself.
Hold up. May I correct you? Which I'm going to. Yes, I said anyone who mentions that phrase, they get a little soundbite. First off, my soundbite isn't working right now. Second of all, the only time you get to say it is if it goes with what you're talking about. And I was talking about different opinions. See, there you go. I'm glad that you actually caught me and you called me out on it. I see that's what a good friend does.
So
It's like when you're talking to a girl, you're with your buddies, and you see one of your buddies talking to a girl at a bar, and you know for a fact that's a dude, and you go up to him and be like, "I wouldn't do that. That's a dude." And he's like, "No, no, no, no." At some point, you're just gonna be like, "You know what? You're on your own." You'll figure
how
it out
often
later.
does that happen?
No, instead of saying you're on your own, go, dude, man, she wants you so fucking bad.
Or you could do that. How often does that happen?
What kind of places are you hanging out in? That's not a
Lady
thing.
Spider-Man. I saw a video of a tranny
It's not a
making
thing.
out with a guy, and the bartender's like, "That's a dude."
That's where you do the Crocodile Dundee thing, and you
goddamn right you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it. I don't
So
know.
since the sound effect isn't working, I'd like to change my tip of the hat to Benjamin Lafayette Cisco.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to thank everyone who came
Punch
on.
Q in
This
the
has been a
mouth.
very fun topic. I think we'll come back to this down the road. It's a topic I think a lot of guys should hear. It's good. I had a lot of fun. Thank you, Tony, for coming back. Love to have you on for more episodes. Mike, Canadian Spider-Man, Tom, who has a puppet, a weird one, but Orty,
Can you
Vincent.
operate it with your dick?
What?
Bah.
How much weed did you smoke right now? Are you on shrooms?
2 liters.
2 liters of shrooms.
2 liters of weed? What?
No, that's the wine that he drank.
Wine. A lot of wine.
What's that? What's that in
next-
freedom fractions?
All of it.
So next
Freedom
week
Track.
we're actually going to talk about how to help guys with red flags with women. I think that's going to be a good.
Oh my god, that's such a good topic. They have
It is.
so many red flags these days.
I know.
So it's going to be a 4-hour show. There's a lot of
women.
fucking red
Probably.
flags.
So if I tell my story about that one chick whose red flag opened up with her favorite film being The Human Centipede, you won't shun me?
Not at all.
Huh?
No.
Sure, you could talk about it.
No, but you got to name the episode "Women." You can't live with them, you can't live without them, and you can't fit more than 3 in the trunk at the same time.
That sounds like a long.
Do you have a magic
So
bullet?
many dead hookers in my life. Whoa, I have.
Well, anyways, hold up. So
Plug the magic bullet
next
in
week-
240.
next week, next week's episode will be on how to help guys understand red flags with dating, because it's pretty from a guy who's married. I don't know what the dating life is like anymore. I don't. I'm that old school now. I'm just.
We
I don't
should
know.
segregate it with
Hey,
blonde.
Orty, how many
brunettes,
dead hookers did
Yeah.
it take to change a light bulb?
Oh God.
I know it's not 12.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It depends
on
on
that
how high
note-
you stack 'em.
on that note, as Canadian Spider-Man gets high and high and high, I want to thank everyone. There might be a Lego build this weekend. I'm not sure yet. But if you want, let people know about this show. We're getting a little bit more edgier and edgier. If you want, you can
especially
always.
with the puppets.
Yeah. We're all tripping balls now.
Yeah.
I know next
No,
month.
berries.
No, you need to get another puppet, Tom, and we need to have puppet sexy time.
Oh my God. Flashbacks
But-
to Let My Puppets Come. Oh
Team
my
America, part 2.
So
Involvement with that. You have experience with that, don't you?
So next month, I will be doing an episode where I'll have people who are in the military or who have served in the military to come on. We're going to do a veterans night. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm
I went to
very
the
excited
map.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some people lined up, Vincent. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then November, if I'll just say this now, I'm going to start pumping out the second anniversary, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a longer episode. It's during election night, 2-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
What could go possibly wrong? Who knows? Stay tuned for more updates. But I'll see you guys next week. Let people know if you love this and you want to see more of this. You can even check out the daily 60-second daily advice shorts on YouTube at rancorsteve, which people are watching on YouTube now. Just go there, watch. I don't know how many shorts I've done, but I do random different advices.
1,000.
But 1,000? Yeah, I've done 1,000.
A dozen.
But,
a dozen.
A dozen.
Oh, yeah.
But I will see you guys all. Or also, if you go to Mike's channel on Comic Relief Crusader on Fridays, usually in the second hour, I think it's my thoughts on the throne, which are quite interesting. But on that note, I want to.
Do you have a thought right now?
I do.
Like THOT, like thought.
Anyways,
THOT.
I will see you guys next week at 7 p.m. Pacific time, or this Saturday or Friday night. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.
Ciao.
Toodaloo. Everybody say bye-bye.
Crap, I can't exit out of it. Hold on. Keep talking, guys.
Hail Hydra.
Oh, well.
We have something very brotherly, something like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Like brotherhood.
Strangers in the night.
Tell me here.
Exchanging condoms.
I'm
This
singing.
one's too tiny.
No, you don't share
Bye-bye.
condoms with it.
I need another.